Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, 8 a.m. I am still shocked that we're doing this. I am psychic medium Jaime.
I'm Spiritwalker Nicole. Good morning.
We are not morning people, so when that alarm goes off, it's like a gigantic shock to our system. But here we are. We love this time that we get to have with you. This is our second week. We are just so grateful, and we're so humbled by the amount of you that called in last week, that joined us for our very first broadcast. It was just, I had so much fun.
Oh, it was so much fun. And then our friends who supported us and called in and also just watched the show and then offered their suggestions for improvement. Those are always welcome.
We do enjoy those. So I have to say, I want to talk quickly about an experience we had yesterday. So for us, it's never ending, right? We are always pushing the buttons on what we can find through spirit. So we had a distance Reiki session. I am a Reiki master teacher, and we did a session yesterday morning. And from time to time, when I'm doing readings or if we're doing Facebook Lives, we'll put out our paranormal equipment and just watch how spirit comes in and we start delivering those messages, and then watching our equipment go off at the same time is just, I don't know, it's really impactful, especially for the person that we're reading or with the Facebook Live that we're doing. Don't you think?
Oh, it's so much fun. And then we also were really careful about to control it and make sure there's no external factors that could open windows or to affect the temperature. It's a controlled environment.
So we decided to set up our REM pod and our K2 meter during our distance Reiki session yesterday. And then we did a controlled test in the evening as well. And during the beginning of the session, there was nothing. And then our REM pod started going off. The temperature started going up. And so I'm realizing now that when I do healing work, the temperature goes up in the room and I start to get hot and flushed. But when I'm actually communicating with spirit, it's the opposite. I get the chills, it gets cold, the temperature, everything goes down for me. So it started going up the temperature, and then we actually got to level 2. So that would be the orange light on our REM pod going off. And then it stopped. And so then I was working in some different sections, and Nicole was working on some different sections. And about 5 minutes later, it triggered it again, which was so cool to see that when we are calling in those healing entities, when we're calling in those Reiki masters and light beings and light workers and our spirit team, our client spirit team, to actually watch that piece of equipment go off, meaning that they had to be standing very close to that antenna on that REM pod. And I mean about this close, you guys. So it was just I don't know. It's one of those things where this never gets old. We will never stop looking for other alternatives, looking for different ways to show people that spirit does come through and finding these different ways to do it. I don't know. I had fun. I just wanted to share that with you guys today.
It's always fun.
I know. So today our topic is spirit is near. Kind of coincides with what we were doing yesterday. We want to talk to you about how spirit is all around us and how you can uncover the ways to be more aware of it. So I'm sure a lot of you have had these experiences to where you think that there's, somebody in the kitchen because you can hear cabinets opening and closing, or you think something's going on, you dismiss it as the ice machine. What are some things that we dismiss?
All kinds of stuff. It's those noises. For me, it was the shutting doors. That was the biggest thing. I lived in a house before I was really in tune with spirit, and I would constantly hear shutting doors, and I was the only one in there. And then I would dismiss it. That's the window open, or the dog's going through or something.
And guess what? Generally, it's not. Because if you can walk through a room and you realize that the windows are closed and that there's no cross breeze anywhere, and you're starting to hear these doors open and close, or know that you just left a room and you hear it close and you come back and there it is. I actually had a client that I read this past weekend, and one of the things that he wanted to validate was that it was his mom that was actually coming through and opening the door in their home and closing it. And when we got that confirmation from her when she came through in the reading, he reminded me that it was his mom's house that they live in. and it was actually her birthday, I believe, as well. So it all coincided with the dog watching her leave, the door opening, and then watching the door closing. So we want to kind of empower you guys. We want to take the fear out of what happens when we start to feel energies coming in or we're hearing energies around us. Because I think a common misconception is what we see in the movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hollywood likes to do a lot. Makes it very scary. Hollywood, both movies and TV shows, like those paranormal shows where they bring in this scary music and it's all dramatic, and I'm just like, what is going on in here? No wonder people are terrified.
Yep. And you have to think about like those movies that have been put out since the 70s. They're meant to scare us. They want that chill factor, right? But when you think about the existence of what we've been doing, it goes on hundreds of years. You get into physical mediumship and all sorts of cool topics that we're going to discuss through our shades of the spirit. I like that, shades of the spirit. Broadcast with you guys. But we want to talk about today is what we're experiencing here and now, because now that we're spending a lot more time in our homes due to the current situation, we are noticing that we're getting a lot more clients asking us and doing readings and bringing it up in their readings about how they feel like there's somebody watching them or they're hearing things in their house. But usually they're not in their homes as much as we have been, what, since February here in, the United States. So first for me, I want to talk about the chills, right? Because that seems to be common in a lot of people's experiences. So with that, like for me, even now, like we actually have a piece of equipment in today to talk about as we're talking about this to see what spirits come in, and it started going off right as the music was playing. But I have chills all up and down my back. And it is like in the movies where they're like, oh, the hair is standing on the back of my neck. So for me, it just kind of overtakes the top half of me. It goes across my shoulders. I can start to feel it in my arms. I know that some sort of energy is around me at that time. Now, I don't have to know who or what it is. I just know that they're coming in. What about for you, Nicole?
No, it's the same situation, especially when I'm giving a reading and I start hitting on a point that I know that the crossed over loved one or the guide or whatever really wants to emphasize. Then I'll start feeling those chills. But it's not, the important thing is it's not scary. Like it's, at
Mm-mm.
first it was startling. I was like, what is that? Like, but then you kind of realize what it is, and then you work with it, and oh, okay, this is, keep going on this point, or spend a little bit more time here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely, it's not a scary thing. It's just a way for them to like, hey, I'm here. You're on the right track. Keep going with that. And it's nice. It's nice to have a sort of like a physical sensation to go along with the messages that you're giving.
Absolutely. I like that word startling because that's what it is. It's not fearful. It does startle us. And even the most experienced mediums and paranormal experts in their fields, psychics, intuitives, empaths, we all at some point will get those chills and be like, whoa, what's in this room, right? But it's about being empowered in yourself in order to be able to move to that next level. And whether that be excusing them out of your home because you have the power, or it's allowing them in there and kind of see who's there. Maybe it is a past loved one or a friend. Maybe it's your spirit guide or an angel. Maybe it is the passerby spirit that comes through. But for you to be able to tune in and know that I'm in control and that you do not have any power over me helps that and helps us kind of coexist with the spirit realms. What about hot flashes?
That generally does happen for me. It just depends. Sometimes for me, it's more chills. Occasionally, it is the hot flashes that I'll feel, and then I'll just. But it's just, different. The spirits are as different as the people that we knew, and they all have different personalities and different ways of communicating. So sometimes it is just those temperature changes in general, and you just know.
I love the touching where you feel like someone's brushed up against your arm, or, sometimes it's hair for me. It'll feel like I've walked through a spider web and yet I'm inside and I know there's no spider webs.
But that
Uh,
goes back to empowerment, like when
yeah,
you feel that, when you understand what's going on, you're working with spirit, you don't go running out of the house like you're on fire screaming, it's a
no,
matter of, oh, okay, you're here, I get it.
yep.
Let's
And a
continue.
lot of loved ones will touch our hair or like caress our cheek or maybe touch us even when we're about to fall asleep on our feet just to let us know and reassure us that they're there. Let's see, physical pain. Our intern actually has this gift, and we've been finding a couple more people that have started taking our mediumship 101 classes with us about physical pain within their body. and how they can connect that to the person who's alive or the person that has passed. So that can happen as long as we know what that experience is and that we're there to help someone work through that pain. Again, that's another empowerment tool for us. And lastly, for me, it's the lightheaded part of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I get off balance or dizzy, whatever it might be. And so I have to really make sure that I ground myself in my space. So if you go onto our website at shadesofspirit.com and you sign up for our newsletter, you'll be able to get the grounding and centering meditation directly to your email. And I would suggest doing that a few times a week. Go out and stand in the grass, go connect with Mother Earth to allow yourself not to be in that moment. Because we have to remember the spirit realms, even the lower realms, are higher than we are, right? And so we want to make sure that we're keeping our physical bodies anchored to the earth, to Mother Earth, to allow her to help us stay here and still be able to travel spiritually up here, working with our higher selves. You guys need to call in because we've got some cool decks out today that we're going to be doing some call-ins at 8:30. So we'll be doing some spirit card readings. You guys can find us at Facebook, Shades of Spirit LLC. You can also find us on Instagram, same thing, Shades of Spirit LLC. We also just got our website up, so a great big thank you to TTR and Jessica for creating a beautiful website for us, and that's shadesofspirit.com. When we come back, we're going to talk about what we hear, like the outside sensations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I find that that's the most fun.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then after that, we'll also talk a little bit more about what you can do within your own home to keep yourself empowered. So we will see you after this break. And welcome back to Shades of Spirit with me, Psychic Medium Jaime.
And Spiritwalker Nicole here.
We are discussing today how spirit is all around us and working through empowerment in order to healthily coexist. Healthily?
Healthily.
Healthily. That's a word today. That is my new word that I make up. Every day is a new day for me, and I make up words. When you start channeling spirit and working in that realm, anything is possible, let me tell you. But how you can coexist with spirit and how you can be empowered and how we can let go of that fear part of it. In the episode before here in segment 1, we talked about physical sensations that we have within our bodies that lets us know that spirit is coming in and trying to make contact with us. Now we're going to talk about all those cool things that happen on the outside. Now, what I love is October is paranormal month for us. And so we're actually going to do the entire month based on paranormal experiences. We are also paranormal investigators. So we had talked about how we get our equipment out from time to time. We actually have one of our meters out today just to see what kind of energies come in when we start doing readings. So you guys can call in at 8:30. You can also message us on Facebook if you would like a card pulled or have a question. We love interaction. So on Facebook, if you want to even just talk about experiences you've had with one another, that builds the community, which is big for us, is really finding that foundation, finding like-minded individuals and sharing your stories, because your story could be similar to someone else's, and how you worked through it or the guidance that you get might actually help someone else as well. And I know that happens time and time again. All right, Spirit Walker Nicole. So talk to me about some external things that you have found that's spirit related.
I think that the main thing that I want to talk about in this one is about the coincidences and how people are always dismissing spirit signs from spirit as coincidences. In the readings that I do, we talk a lot about music comes in a lot because spirit loves to use songs to come in. So when you're sitting in that car driving and that song, when you're thinking about your past loved one and that song comes on that meant so much to you guys, and you just think, oh, that's a coincidence. Instead, they're just like jumping up and down in the passenger seat, screaming at you, basically telling you, no, that's me, I'm letting you know I'm here. So songs are a really big thing, and so don't dismiss those little coincidences. That you just miss it. You miss the good stuff when you try to rationalize it and you just don't accept, hey, this is spirit, this is coming in, could that be smells as well. A lot of people, even the ones that aren't really super into this stuff, they'll be in their house and they'll round that corner and they suddenly get that smell of like that remind them of their loved one, whether it be cigar smoke and nobody's in the house smoking or outside, whatever it is. or they'll get that grandma's perfume and they're like, oh, and they dismiss it. And again, it's another missed sign.
I love the cigar one. I actually had that with family, and also on the way to a reading one time. I opened up to my angels and my guides, and I said, okay, I want more validating information. I want to fine tune it. I want small details that they can validate. And I was driving up the 8 freeway, 8 East, heading out to Alpine for a reading, and all of a sudden I smelled cigar smoke in the car. And my windows were rolled up, and I'm looking around, and I'm the only one within, a couple hundred meters or whatever around the car. And I'm like, this is actually happening right now. And the one person that would have come through, I'm like, this isn't the time for them to come through. So when I got to their house, I was setting up and we were chit chatting. And I said, oh my gosh, I got to tell you the story. And I told her how I'd invited in my angels and my guides and I wanted more specifics. And my car filled up with cigar smoke. And her mouth dropped. And she walked around and she had pictures all face down because she'd had readings before. And she pulled up a picture of a gentleman smoking a cigar. And she goes, this is my husband. This is who I wanted to connect with today. So don't dismiss these as somebody walking down the street and maybe it wafted into your house if you're over in the kitchen and your windows are on the east side.
And also listen for their name. Spirit comes through a lot, and by presenting their names to you in just various forms. Like back 20 years ago, when we could go to a restaurant and sit down inside, you might have a waiter named, Chris or something, or on the receipt of the restaurant or wherever you are, it'll say, thank you, this place is managed by Jose, whatever it is. And it's not a coincidence. It's Spirit just tries so hard to come through and to give you those hellos and just let you know they're there and happy and safe and fine and with you, like they're never gone.
No, I love when my animals react. Okay. How many of you out there have animals? And you notice that your animals are staring off in the corner, barking for no reason. I had a dog who actually would look up, which was very interesting, and then he would bark, and then he would sit and stare. And then I finally connected that he's connecting with my spirit team coming in, which was amazing. And he was very connected to me as well. So he was very protective of me, of not only the humans, but the spirit side of it. And we have a frog, and he has become our spirit dog. And with him being our spirit dog, we've noticed that he reacts to spirit at the same time equipment goes off. Talk about the Facebook time. That was freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, we had a Facebook Live and we had about, I don't know, 50, 60 people watching with us and getting readings, and it was a good time. And then a specific spirit came in for one of the people, and our dog went absolutely crazy, just nuts. And at the same time, we had a viewer later say, "Hey, did you hear something at that time?" So we didn't. We were in the moment.
Yeah.
We didn't hear anything. So we went back and listened, and you could actually hear.
Two voices.
Yeah.
You heard a woman's voice speak, and she was sitting in front of Spiritwalker Nicole as she was doing a reading, and we were giving each other a hard time like we usually do. And you can hear that, and that's the same time that he jumped up off the couch next to me and started barking. And then you could hear another entity of a male coming through, like antagonizing the dog, like just trying to egg him on. But when we do Facebook Lives, there's a room full of energies that come in because they know that you guys are reaching out to us. Speaking of Facebook Live, we have one coming up this coming Wednesday. Our intern will be there, Spiritwalker Nicole, and myself. It is on our Facebook page, Shades of Spirit LLC. Tune in at, I believe we're doing it at 6:30, lasts a couple hours, and it's spirit card readings, and then we allow any other energies and entities to come in for messages for your highest and best. So check that part out.
This is free. This is
It's free. We never charge for our Facebook Lives.
No, it's a give back because we love to give the one-on-one personal readings that are an hour to an hour and a half. But also Facebook Lives are, like between 5 and 10 minute readings for you guys, and it's free and it's just fun. We try to get through as many because those, sometimes you just need that quick little hello from heaven. Yeah.
All right. What else for you?
I think also the children, you hear a lot of our clients will talk about their kids and their pretend friends, in quotes, if you will, and talk about how, oh yeah, my kid was talking, basically described my mom or my dad or their grandparents, and they give these like extraordinary details, and they're like, oh, that's weird. And I'm like, is it?
That's the biggest thing. A few years ago when I was working with kids a lot and my own children, I realized that if I would have known this 17 years ago with my oldest, I probably could have kept her out of the fear state. Because 17 years ago, I was still learning about my gifts and didn't realize that the energies that were being drawn to me were ones that needed help. So they felt fearful. And that's what I hid from as a child. And so now that I'm more empowered, I would have been able to empower my children better. So I make it a point to be able to talk to parents, talk to children, of course, with the parents' permission, and allow them to explain kind of what's going on. But that pretend friend thing that our parents have dismissed for so long, the majority of the time is that our little ones are still very connected to spirit. And when they get to ages 5, 6, 7, 8, and they start growing up, they start coming out of that innocence part of it and they start disconnecting a little bit. Now we're finding that more and more of us who are in the age ranges of 38 to 55 have kids that aren't fully coming out of this and it's going in and out. And sometimes they're having a hard time through puberty. That's another boost where that comes in. But if you pay attention to your children or your grandchildren, or you think back to those times, and they're doing the same things that those animals are doing, and they're in the corner and they're playing Barbies or they're playing tractors and they're talking up a storm, listen to them, listen to who they're talking to, because I can guarantee that there's a message in there, because they're probably talking to one of your past loved ones, or maybe they're spirit guides. They're all around us all the time and they're trying to get our attention. Could they be talking to a passerby? Of course. But
Kids are open. They're
kids are
so
so
open, and they haven't been told that they're crazy yet,
Yep.
and it's not scary, and it's just like part of everyday life.
It's going to be one of our shows is actually dedicated to kids. And that will probably be coming up in September. I think that might be Empowerment Month. We'll have to see where that goes. But yeah, definitely listen to your kids, watch your animals. Don't dismiss that kitchen sound to just being someone in the kitchen, even though you know you're not home. But what you can do is that you can invite in your spirit team. And we all have spirit teams.
We absolutely do. That'll be a whole other episode as well. But everybody nobody's alone. We all have at least one guardian angel, and we all have a big spirit team of spirit guides that they can't tell us what to do, but they can certainly suggest, and they try to guide us in the right direction so we can get on the way of learning the lessons that we wanted to learn when we came here. And it's nice, it's reassuring, and they just have your best interest at heart. And spirit is always trying to get our attention.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of if we want to, I don't know,
Trust.
be open to it. Yeah.
We've got to trust. So what I do is I always call on my spirit team in the morning and I say, I only want what's for my highest and best. That's created that boundary. And my spirit team will make sure that if there's anything that is passing by that may not be for my highest and best at that moment, then they're just going to help kind of keep them moving along. I also encourage my spirit team to help those spirits that seem a little bit lost or need some help on their own ascension process. But we can do that. And I'm not over here talking to them in line at Starbucks, right? I'm not like, okay, spirit team, this is what we're doing today. It's all in my head. And that's that way that I communicate with them. So when I'm doing your readings, we do one-on-one readings daily. And we connect with your team and you. And it's that broad spectrum of having to multitask it all. But I'm doing it all in my head. And that's what you can do as well. So if you guys want to join us, we have got our Facebook Live coming up this coming Wednesday, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, with our intern, LaShawn. We've got Spiritwalker Nicole and myself. LaShawn is fabulous at card pools. She also works, at being able to see energies coming through as well. On the 18th is our Release and Intentions workshop. So check that out on our website. We have those monthly. This is going to coincide with the new moon, so you can guarantee next week when we're on live at 8 a.m. on Transformation Talk Radio that we will be doing some full moon and new moon oracle cards. I love my moon decks. Let's see, what else do we have going on this month?
Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff.
There's
I can't wait
stuff.
to share it. So jump on our website, shadesofspirit.com, or our Facebook page, Shades of Spirit LLC, and see what we have coming up so that you can sign up for it. And
YouTube too.
Oh, yeah, we have our YouTube account, Shades of Spirit. You got to check that out, subscribe. You'll have downloads of meditations. So after the break, we are going to take a quick one. We will start with doing some readings. I'm already seeing that we got some people calling in. So call in and we will give you some connection readings next. Back, everybody. I am Psychic Medium Jaime.
And Spiritwalker Nicole.
We are Shades of Spirit. We are so excited to be doing our topic today on Spirit is Near. So we've been discussing all the different ways that we can physically tell when Spirit is near us, and then when we can tell on the outside, meaning sounds, knocks, footsteps, there are no coincidences when it comes to spirit. So I want you guys to think about that principle as well today when you're going about your day, about how you can use your spirit team as your empowerment tool in order to keep your energy in a safe space when spirit's around. And also how a lot of times fear is glorified through Hollywood in those movies that have been going on for years and years and years and decades, actually. And how, those are supposed to be chiller movies, right? And they're supposed to get us, scared and hiding under our blankets. But in reality, that's not how spirit works. The majority of them out there are just here either as passing by, their family, friends, or loved ones. There are those spirits from occasion to occasion to where they are a little more
intense.
yeah, and they might be trying to spook you out of your house type of thing. I have been, we are also paranormal investigators, so I have been to a home before, and ultimately it was just an older gentleman who wanted to regain his space back and learn that he could coexist because he was not ready to continue his ascension process. I don't know if he felt he was waiting for someone to come back, but he was able to work with the homeowners, and they have had nothing but peace with him ever since. There was electrical disturbances, plumbing issues, water leaks. I mean, you name it, they had it. You even lived in a haunted house.
I did live in a haunted house, and yeah, I mean, I didn't know what I was dealing with really. I wasn't scared of it per se. It was just all these different little things here and there. And it was finally like, when you put it all together, it's like, oh, and then it's just like, they just need help. It's not this scary thing. They just want to get messages, or they're not
Sometimes
ready.
they just want to be heard.
Yeah.
So, on that note, we're going to take some call ins because we want to dedicate a portion of our show each week to live call in readings because a lot of you are looking for a little spiritual boost or a little confirmation or validation. So, let's see here. Are you ready, Spiritwalker
ready.
Nicole? All right,
My
Zach.
favorite part.
Who do we have first today? Awesome. Good morning, Jody.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I just kind of wanted to validate something that you said. Nikki was saying that, Spiritwalker Nicole, I'm sorry, was saying that she was talking about how a spirit comes and you see no names. And I thought about my dog, Jack, and how I just was at the mall, and this guy, his name Jack, that was helping us, and I thought, oh, and maybe think of my dog. And then the very next thing I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if it works with animals. And then Jamie started talking about your dog and how they see spirit. And I was like, okay, hi, Jack.
And remember, your animals, Jody, can come back to you and visit you in spirit form. And we actually have that a lot more now that we're opening up. And I have a new guide. We actually kind of share him. And he helps us connect with animals. So animals absolutely can come back to us in spirit form and also can, see spirit and tune us into that.
And if you're getting a reading with me, your cats can give me an allergy attack. So thank you for that. That has been happening more and more.
That sounds crawl space to stay away.
Exactly. Okay, Jody, are you calling in for a card as well today, or are you just sharing your story?
I just wanted to share my story because I thought that was the coincidence was too real.
I love it. And there are no coincidences. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for calling in and sharing your story and validating for others too who might be asking that same question. Have a great Monday morning, Jody.
Thanks, Jody.
You too. Bye, guys.
Bye. I love it when people call in and just kind of validate or have that aha moment of like, oh my gosh, I finally put this little puzzle piece together. And then when we go back and start thinking about things, now we're like, oh, Jody also had this. And this is what Shades of Spirit talked about. Love it, love it, love it.
And even if you can give yourself permission for 2 or 3 days that, okay, there's no coincidences and I'm going to notice all the signs, then you're going to be like, wow. And then it's going to, it's going to keep going. And the more you ask for signs, the more the universe reaches back and gives you those signs. And your job is to notice it and have faith in it and not dismiss it. And then then it'll be nonstop. So you're like having this nonstop conversation with everyone, and it's amazing. Yeah. And it changes your perspective.
Changes your life, honestly. All right. Who do we have next, Zach?
We have Lori from Texas.
Lori from Texas.
Hi, Lori.
Good morning, Lori.
Hello?
Hello there. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, we are doing our spirit cards today. So we're wondering, do you have a question or are you just kind of looking for an open reading?
I would like an open reading, please.
Oh, I love that. Okay. It's kind of funny because I'm actually going back to some old decks. And what's funny is that Spiritwalker Nicole is doing the same thing. So let's pull a guidance card for you today. This was the very first deck that I have ever used and really enjoyed the feel of it. When we go over the different modalities of how we connect with spirit, we'll talk about tarot decks and how to pick out them, or oracle cards, what calls to you, how to pick them out. Whew. Yes, okay. Okay, Lori, I love this card. So you got the Go Outside card. It says you've been indoors too long, go outside and get some fresh air. So what they're talking about is it's time now to start kind of branching out. I see you're from Texas, so I'm sure the weather right now is probably pretty warm and sticky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe going out in the first thing in the morning and having that cup of coffee or that cup of tea and connecting with Mother Earth and allowing yourself to be in her presence and taking in the sounds and smells. It's a good way for us to disconnect as well. Various meanings of this particular card is also talking about manifestations. So this is a prime time now that we just got out of the Lionsgate portal opening up on 8/8. That energy is going to last for the next few weeks. And then we have the new moon coming up on the 18th. So that's next week. So right now, if you're looking to make some changes in your life, which they're telling me you are, and they're showing me lines, which means that things will start to become in alignment for you, that by the time we hit next spring, and it's very important to understand it's not because of anything that you're not doing. It's because of the place that we're in right now energetically, and with COVID going on, that a little bit of what you're trying to put out there to manifest might take a little bit longer. This is also talking about choose a job that allows for more connection with nature, and also talks about the balance that you need in your life. So again, relaxing, taking that breath, allowing yourself to step back. And they're showing me the words help in really big words, like it's a Broadway show. And that means to start asking for help and start delegating some of the tasks that you have. And when they go underneath with me, I do a lot of talking with my hands, guys, so you understand, but it's me connecting with spirit. But when they're showing me going underneath, that there's some small tasks that you can actually start giving out or divvying out to others that can help you so that you can focus on that main manifestation that you have. What do you have, Spiritwalker Nicole?
The card that I have for her pretty much coincides with yours, and it's the recovery card. And it talks about this is a period of recovery and healing for you. The challenging emotions that you've been dealing with will fade away with time. Although it may be difficult to see now, there is a joyful future awaiting you. But for now, take all the time you need to regain your strength. And it's okay to just, and even though we've been cooped up inside and stuff, that's hard. It's not easy to be, I mean, we as humans, we crave that contact and stuff. And now everything's like through social media and Zoom, and it sucks. Like, yeah, like I would like to just go to Starbucks and sit inside and people watch and, interact and do those things. But this is giving you a time to just kind of recover and reevaluate and ground and go out there in nature, like she said. And be patient with yourself. I think that's the biggest thing, is be patient with yourself. If your state of mind isn't quite where you want it right now, that's all right. Tomorrow's a new day, and you can just work on stuff, releasing some of the stuff that's not serving you anymore, and just give yourself that time to recover and heal.
I hope that resonates with you, Lori.
Oh, it's awesome. It actually fits. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for calling.
Guys.
Have a great Monday in Texas, Lori.
Thank you. You too.
All right, we've got quite a few people. I say we just keep the ball rolling, Zach.
Texas, I like it.
I know.
All right. Next up, we have Melissa from San Diego.
All right, Melissa from San Diego. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, girls. It's your favorite pest.
Not at all, folks. We do know Melissa. She's actually helping us put together a super secret adventure as well. No, you're good. What are you looking for here today, my dear?
Open card reading, of course.
Of course. All right. Let's see. I want to do Ask Your Guide. So, Melissa, what I want you to do is you don't have to share it with us right now.
I was going to, that was the deck I was going to use. It's fine.
Are you?
It's all about you today, apparently. It's fine.
When I go first, I win.
Yeah.
We were both going to pull the same deck. So, Melissa, this makes it even more, I need you just to start thinking of a question, because the Ask Your Guides deck means that if we're both pulling it for you, that you have got some things going on in your life that you're looking for answers for. So the open reading is still going to be an open reading. I don't want to know your question. I just want you to kind of keep it in the back of your mind while we pull this card. What I'm doing as I shuffle it is that I'm putting the intentions that your spirit team comes through, working with my spirit team, in order to get you the answer that you are looking for, or the direction that you're looking for, even validation that you're looking for, that you're on the right track. When I pull cards, I get those same chills that I get when spirit comes in, and that lets me know that that's the right card for you. Actually, the fact that I just pulled the creativity card makes so much sense for you. So right now you are in a creative mode. You're brainstorming, you're branching out. You've had time to do this. They want you to slow down a little bit because you're always going and going and going, and they want you to focus and center that energy right in that sacral chakra. So if you do guided meditations at all, I want you to find one that's a guided meditation for your sacral chakra. So that's the chakra that's located just underneath your belly button. It's a beautiful orange color, so you can envision that light coming through. With this card, it talks about having patience, practicing. So that's practicing what you enjoy doing, not what everyone else enjoys doing, but what you enjoy doing to keep that creative flow going. It talks about revelation and assessment. So right now you're doing a lot of assessing in your life. You're making these changes. You're empowering yourself to grow in what you find interesting and what you want now. It's time for you to focus on you. This card is talking about calling in your creativity guides. And these are the ones that are going to help you explore all these different avenues of how you can creatively bring into your life what it is that you're looking for. It's also talking about reminding you not to look at life in terms of black and white, me against you, or all or nothing. The creative spirit that resides in you is about looking at it on a subconscious level, a broad level, allowing the universe to come in and help you create, to just, I can't wait to see what you start doing and manifesting at the same time, because I know you're a big manifester, but they are just talking about be a little more creative, and they're also talking about work more in colors. So I'm not sure what that's about, but I will leave you with that. What do you have, Nicole, since I stole your deck?
Well, we do know Melissa, and she's one of our favorite people. And the card that I got for her, which is you are profoundly clairvoyant, which I love, because Melissa is really stepping into her woo-woo side, which is why I think we like her so much, and discovering spirit. And it's just fun to watch. This card is to help you trust the visions you receive in your mind's eye during dream time, as well as the signs that you physically see, such as numbers, feathers, coins, flashes of light, and so forth. So just like what we're talking about today, signs that you see. We didn't really even get into like the feathers and the coins, things like that. We talked about other things, but it's all meaningful, and spirit uses so many different ways to get a hold of us. And Melissa she's absolutely clairvoyant, and she's really stepping into that side of things, which is why I love this card so much. The card finishes with, your clairvoyance also gives you continuous and accurate guidance, much like a GPS electronic map in a car that guides you to the right destination. Trust what you see.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So does any of that resonate with you, Melissa?
It all resonates. Thanks so much, girls, and I can't wait to see you in a few weeks.
All right. Thank you, Melissa, for calling in. Have a safe trip. I love it. I love it when people we know call in too, because it's a family. I love that so much. All right. Who do we have next, Zach? I'm all warmed up now.
I know, I can see it.
We have Rich from Arizona.
Arizona, Texas, California. This is fun. Hello, Rich. How are you doing this Monday morning?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
We are doing fantastic. What can we help you with today? Because as we know, I have to say it, Nicole, I have to say it.
No.
We are your one-stop spirit shop.
Oh my God. Every time. I knew. As soon as that came out of my mouth, I knew I was going to regret it forever. My clairvoyance kicked in. I am.
Yeah. So what can we do for you today? Are you looking for some guidance, open reading? What can we help you with?
An open reading would be good. I just want to make sure I'm on the current path that I'm on. It's the right path that I should be taking.
Got it. Okay. I like that he gave us the option of an open reading or just to size up his entire life.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
got
we do.
this. Which is interesting because as I moved into your energy, as we were finishing up with Melissa, I grabbed the relationships deck for you. And I kind of just felt like you need a one-on-one with yourself and your higher self. And this would make sense if you're looking for direction on kind of your life path as well. Continue meditating. I want you to focus on meditating in that higher self realm, meaning that when you go to meditate, I want you to call him in. And I want you to call in your spirit team, even if you don't know them all, call them in to work with your higher self to give you that guidance and direction. Our spirit teams, you guys, are the only ones besides us who do not have the access to all that information as we are in our human selves and our physical bodies. Our spirit team is the one that directs us and guides us according to what we wanted to accomplish this life. So when we call in our spirit team, whether we know them or not, that doesn't matter. What matters is that we are able to connect with them and that we're able to connect with our higher self, which is what they want you to do, to continue to see clearly, which I love. The card that we actually got for you is the sensitivity card. I love it. The frequency of sensitivity helps us open to the world subtly and detail what's anchoring in a structural foundation. And then they flip that for me. And so they say, we no longer want to anchor in the structural anymore. I want you to take it and move it up. Okay, I want you to come up and out of it. This talks about supporting to be full, I like this, to become more fully multidimensional. That word right there is telling me, yes, where you're headed to next is an elevation of sorts, and that is the multidimensional realm that they're speaking of. It's about taking samples of everything you can right now, putting it together to create your own. And they are definitely talking about the healing aspect for you. My hands have turned on, that this is still the right way to go, along with being able to work on that clear seeing, your clairvoyant side. What do you have, Nicole?
I pulled out of that deck that you stole from the last reading, the Ask Your Guides, and I love it because it's the victory card and divine helpers. And Rich, the first sentence on here is your divine helpers are present, bearing the good news that whatever you've been working on will succeed. And if that isn't a direct answer to your question, yeah. So thanks for calling. No.
Yeah, I feel like we just dropped the mic.
Yeah. It says the bad news is, then it says there isn't any bad news. There is a reality. In your case, suggests you can't fully enjoy your success only if you recognize that you didn't get where you are by yourself. But you know, you're totally on the right path, and just enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. And there's not going to be any missteps. Like if you like really tune into spirit and you find something that you love, then that's the way to go. That's a direction to go. And then if you find yourself, okay, I kind of explored that. Cool. Guess what? There's always a door number 2.
Yep.
And check that out. And there's so many things like, then that's what I like about spirit is there is something for everyone if you're open to it. If you're not into like mediumship, you might be into crystals, or you might be into whatever you want to do. And that's what's so cool about it.
How does that resonate with you, Rich?
It definitely resonates. There's a lot of paths to take, and it seems like I should take a look at each path and figure out which one I would like to take. So I really appreciate your reading. I really do.
I love your card, Nicole. That just summed up right.
And you don't have to just take one path. That's the best part. It's like a sampler platter. Oh no, that's going to come back too. You can do whatever you want. Shut up, Jamie. Just shut up.
Thank you, Rich. Now that I have another tagline for Spiritwalker Nicole, but thank you so much for calling in. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, Nicole, I want to hear you have at least a few more slangs in there. I think we got time for one more reading, Zach. How about it?
All right. We have Katie from California.
Katie from California. Good morning, Katie from California. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course. I hope you're getting some sun.
Great.
We're down here in San Diego, and we're finally starting to see it peak out here. So this is going to be a nice day.
Oh, yes, it is. It really does.
So what can we do for you today?
So, I wanted to get a general reading. I think everything's pretty stable, but I always worry about other people a little too much, maybe.
Oh, Katie, you're an empath, so
I don't know.
that is okay to acknowledge that.
That could be it. No wonder.
Yeah. As an empath, I want you to Google that later on today. And I want you to start resonating with that, because as an empath, we are open to feeling others' energies around us. And so for those of us that are open to feeling that, and who are also ones that are fixers, are drawn to those people to kind of help take care of and to help nurture. Sometimes that backfires on us, which they're warning you on. They're saying, okay, Katie, enough is enough. It's time for you to put your focus on yourself right now, as opposed to being that fixer. So we can still send love and light out to those who need it, even when we come into contact with them. But they're number one talking about boundaries for you, creating that boundary around you. Bring in your spirit team. I'm going to ask Spiritwalker Nicole, because she works in the angel realm, to bring an angel in for you that she can speak on briefly about creating those boundaries and to help you in that mode. And then they're also talking about allowing yourself to start being at peace with yourself inside. And I'm getting the chills because there's a male energy coming through, very strong male energy. He's paternal side. It's either grandfather or father. And what he's doing is he's having me pull out a card out of the heart deck. And his energy is very strong. And he's talking about how now is the time for you. And I feel like that there was a nickname for you. It's something like kind of silly almost. Like I'm hearing like Katie Bear, not saying that that's it, but just to remind yourself to go back into that inner child and to find that fun in life for you, because you do so much for others and you're such a good soul, he said, that people seem to take advantage from time to time, and not always intentionally. It's just because you've got this heart of gold. But now he's like, let's protect that. Let's bring your energy back in and let's focus on you. What's interesting is I had to show this card. I'm not sure if you can even see it, but if you replay it, you can. It's the Share the Love card. This is our heart chakra card. It is a person holding a heart in their palm, and the heart is broken and yet light is shining through. So it's about healing, it's about self-love, and it's about connection. So before we have to wrap up the show, I'm going to let Nicole talk about her card that she has pulled for you today.
I pulled out of an Archangel Oracle card, and it was the Courage card. And one of the things that stood out to me when I moved into your energy is you said, when you first got on here, things are pretty stable right now. Okay. We're not looking for stable here, Katie. I want you to say things are awesome. Like, I can't wait to get up. This life rocks. Like, that's what we want. And sometimes, when things are stable, then we kind of, one of two things. We don't want to deal with our own stuff, so we're going to worry about other people's stuff, or our stuff is okay, so now let's look for something else to worry about. Instead of just embracing this life, these angels, they come in and they can help enhance and make you so excited about something. So find something you like to do. If it's the beach, if it's the mountains, if it's something, re-energize yourself and get excited about something. Find those hobbies. Stop putting yourself at the bottom all the time. Bring in Archangel Michael for protection if it's something that you just like, if you just have this anxiety or you're worried about stuff. But stable is not the goal. Not the goal. We don't want stable. We want amazing. And just,
you're going to get there as well, Katie. And that's just by calling your spirit team, calling in those past loved ones to help embrace you and nurture you at this moment. We're going to have to leave it that today, folks, because we're getting ready to wrap up our show. So thank you, Katie, so much for calling in today. We appreciate you and support you on your journey as well. So for everybody, if you are interested in booking a private one-on-one reading, we have those that you can book. You can look us up, try that again, on shadesofspirit.com. You can also find us on Shades of Spirit Facebook LLC, so Shades of Spirit LLC. We also have an Instagram account on there as well. We just launched our YouTube station, which also has our guided meditation. So this month, our free guided meditation on the YouTube channel is connecting with one of your guardian angels. Also, all of our shows are on that as well. We have coming up here this coming Wednesday a free Facebook Live readings extravaganza with our intern LaShawn, Spiritwalker Nicole, and myself. That's 6:30 Pacific Standard Time on Facebook, Shades of Spirit LLC, and a Release and Intentions workshop next Tuesday. So check out our events. Our Sacred Circles start next month. We just got so much going on. We appreciate you all. We honor you all. We thank you all for joining us again today, and we will see you next week. Spiritwalker Nicole, anything else?
have a great week.
All right, you guys. See you next Monday at 8 a.m. Thank you. Have a great week.